Buenas tardes, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a la rueda de prensa del Premio Donostia de esta 69 edición del Festival de Cine de San Sebastián. Bueno, creo que nuestro invitado no necesita ninguna presentación. Johnny Depp recibirá esta noche el premio. Y bueno, es un gusto tenerla aquí otra vez después del año pasado, que ya nos visitó, pero en esta ocasión para ser el homenajeado de esta edición. You can use the headphones if you want.
I understood everything you said perfectly.
Oh, great.
I mean,
Así
I will
que
later.
Perfect. Veo muchas manos levantadas, así que vamos a empezar el turno de preguntas. Os agradeceríamos que las preguntas se ciñeran exclusivamente a la carrera profesional del señor Depp, que para eso está aquí, para homenajear su labor cinematográfica. Así que, bueno, sí, vamos a empezar ya por allí y vamos a... Vale, voy apuntando a todos los que están aquí pendientes.
Sí, hola. Enhorabuena por el premio, eso lo primero. Y me gustaría hacer dos preguntillas. La primera es sobre sus inicios. Su primera película fue Pesadilla en Elm Street y luego, luego ha seguido bastante asociado al género fantástico y de terror. Entonces, bueno, en realidad me gustaría preguntar sobre esa preferencia, bueno, si es que tiene especial preferencia por el fantástico y el terror. Y la segunda pregunta es una mera curiosidad, es su intervención en la película Tusk de Kevin Smith como un personaje muy curioso, el de Guy Lapointe. Entonces me gustaría que comentara esa aparición. Muchísimas gracias.
Are you listening to the...
Listening to...
Are you listening to the question or not?
listening, but it doesn't seem to be coming out.
You didn't... Maybe... ¿Podrías repetir la pregunta para que nuestro traductor... Ahora que...
Sí.
If I unplug it, hang on.
It doesn't work?
No, that doesn't work either.
Leslie,
Yeah. Sorry. Ah, yeah. Sorry? Okay. Terribly sorry, I didn't... I got you now.
Vale. Sí, lo primero decía darle la enhorabuena por el premio y muchas gracias por todas sus interpretaciones. Son dos preguntas. La primera es, dado que su primera película fue Pesadilla en Elm Street, un papel muy recordado en una saga muy conocida del género fantástico y de terror, luego ha seguido trabajando bastante en el género. Quería saber si tenía especial relación o especial gusto por este tipo de películas, aparte de toda, que ha hecho más cosas, ¿no? Pero bueno, yo creo que tiene especial relación con este género. Y la segunda pregunta es sobre su aparición en la película Tusk de Kevin Smith como el personaje Guy Lapointe, que me parece curiosísima y quería que comentara un poco eso. Muchísimas gracias.
Sure. Thank you for the question. What was the question again? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I've chosen to. I don't know. I was chosen by the character almost of these people that I played. You know, that I've had the opportunity to play. It's a very strange thing when you have the image of all these Mazel Tov, of all these incarnations, various incarnations of yourself. Before you, when you see photographs or slice of footage of these characters, it takes me back to the memory of making the film and the feeling of being the character. But it's a strange thing. You pass them by, like, you know, not that you pass them by. It's like you put them away, and they reside in some dresser drawer inside you. You know, they're still there. The greatest actors for me were in my early years. I got lucky and started. I started watching silent films on television, and I really loved that in those films, whether it was a personality character like a Buster Keaton or the Tramp, Charlie Chaplin or whatever, what they were capable, or Lon Chaney Sr., who was the greatest character actor of all time, he made the effort to change himself to represent other people that he'd observed, you know. So each character kind of becomes it's almost like a recipe for some sort of dish. The character that I played in Tusk with Kevin Smith, as soon as he said he's a French-Canadian private investigator, I suddenly knew how far the character would be able to go, where you're riding the line of too much or just enough or interesting or something or ridiculous. I don't know. As an actor, I think that the first rule is that you must be willing to go ahead and just stand sort of naked and be willing to fall flat on your face by the various choices, or choices you made or choices that you didn't make, for example. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Sí, tenemos ahí otra. Sí, después.
Buenas tardes, enhorabuena Johnny, más que merecido este premio. La pregunta es sobre si ves que los artistas como tú estáis un poco desprotegidos en esta época de un poco de cancelación, de que los juicios se llevan a cabo por las redes sociales y que eso afecta de una manera directa a los artistas sin realmente saberse la verdad de los hechos, porque la gente se ve legitimada a hablar sobre la vida privada de un artista porque cree que lo conoce. Tú como actor y una persona con una dimensión enorme, ¿cómo ves esta situación? Gracias.
It's a complex, very complex it's a very complex situation because it can be seen as an event in history that lasted for however long it lasted for. This cancel culture or this instant rush to judgment based on essentially what amounts to polluted air that's exhaled. Do I feel safe myself? Yeah, I do. I do now. Because it's important when you're faced with something as mind-bogglingly bewildering. That sort of thing hits you from many, many angles. First is, what? What? So, because maybe, you know, quite a while back now, prior to the various movements that came out, a couple with, I'm sure, the best of intentions. However, it's so far out of hand now that I can promise you that no one is safe. Not one of you. Not one of you. Not anyone out that door. No one is safe as long as someone is willing to say one sentence, takes one sentence, and then there's no more ground. Carpet's been pulled. But it's not just me, you know, that this has happened to. It's happened to a lot of people. This type of thing has happened to women, men, children who've suffered from various types of unpleasantries that sadly at a certain point they begin to think that it's normal or that it's them when it's not. Nobody out there, we don't know what anyone's thinking at any moment. But I believe that, yeah, no one's safe, but I believe that if you are armed with the truth, then that's all you need. Doesn't matter if a judgment per se has taken some artistic license. No. When there's an injustice, whether it's against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down. Don't sit down on them, you know, because they need you.
Sí. Quizás sí.
Thanks.
Gracias. Tenemos más preguntas. Quizá podemos volver a la carrera del señor Depp. Tenemos allí una... ¿A ti ahí detrás? No, detrás, ahí, sí, justo. Y después...
Vale. Ongi etorri, welcome, Mr. Depp. Yeah.
Thank you.
La semana pasada, la Asociación de Mujeres Directoras de España criticó el premio que se le va a entregar esta noche. Dijeron concretamente que no era el momento porque había evidencias de maltrato machista. Me gustaría saber qué quiere o si le apetece decirles algo al respecto y, por otra parte, cómo ha afectado todo esto a su carrera en Hollywood.
Por favor, hemos dicho al principio, ya lo hemos dicho, que las preguntas se ciñeran a su carrera profesional. Entonces, vamos, si te parece. Si tienes alguna pregunta sobre este tema, estaremos encantados. No, lo siento. Vamos a pasar entonces aquí. Gracias.
Hello, it's here.
Hey.
I'm from Portugal, Rui, and I have two small questions. So if you would meet now the young Johnny Depp, what could be a career advice that you could give him? And also in Portugal, there will be a
Walk backwards.
and also there will be a festival in Lisbon and Sintra next month, and we're going to celebrate Roman culture, Gypsy culture. What do you think about this kind of celebration? I was just curious.
Well, put it this way, I know that a gypsy wedding is a 3-day event. So any celebration outside of that would probably have to be 10 days to 2 weeks. A lot of people falling. I have a great passion for that culture, for the Rom, and have learned a lot from the various musicians and people who, living that way, that lifestyle. I've learned a lot from them. Sintra is a beautiful place. I ended up shooting quite a bit of the film many years ago with Roman Polanski down in Sintra and Porto, and yeah, it was quite beautiful. Yeah, I loved it.
Bien. Tenemos aquí una pregunta más. Sí, vienen por detrás con el micro.
Enhorabuena, Johnny, por tu trabajo. He seguido tu trayectoria desde hace años y me pareces un actor increíble, titánico, poliédrico, absolutamente increíble. Soy actriz, directora, estoy ahora mismo con el guión de un largo. Perdona mi atrevimiento, pero te querría preguntar, a la hora de elegir los proyectos, ¿en qué te basas? ¿En qué te guías para elegir un personaje en vez de otro? Y sobre todo, a la hora, por ejemplo, de proponerte participar en mi largo o que una persona te proponga un trabajo, ¿qué criterio es el que usas con el corazón o con la mente? ¿Qué es lo que te hace elegir un trabajo u otro para ver en qué dirección quieres ir?
What was the last part of the question about?
¿Perdón? Sí. Te quería preguntar, ¿en qué te basas a la hora de elegir un proyecto u otro? ¿Cuáles son las características que te hacen elegir un personaje o rechazar un proyecto?
Definitely, no, I understand. Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you. I've always relied on instinct or intuition and the initial emotion or the initial feeling or the initial spark or idea that might come from a character or any character in a screenplay. Just reading through the first time. Normally, what I do is if I can get past 10-15 pages, it's all right. If I can't, there's just nothing. It's just air. It's like drinking air. But when something in the character puts a barb or a hook in you on some emotional level that you can relate to or that you feel you could add to. So it's almost, basically, I choose the characters that I believe that I might have something unique to add to that particular character. And because they either fascinate me, the mind, or they dive inside your heart, you know. But they're all strangely intertwined, even, you know, from the worst, the nastiest, to Edward Scissorhands. There is some sort of monofilament that holds them all together, which is yeah, somewhere in the background, I guess me behind the curtain. You know. But like I was saying earlier, sometimes you see a section of film or a couple of photographs of characters that you've played, and you see like 4 or 5 there, and you go, my God, how they should have fired me a long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah, I consider myself very lucky. Thank you. Thanks.
Gracias.
That's you.
Tenemos aquí otra pregunta.
Bienvenido aquí. Bienvenido. Felicidades por este premio. Yo te quería preguntar, ¿cómo ves tu futuro artístico como actor? Si te veremos próximamente en la gran pantalla después de El fotógrafo de Minamata. Y una segunda pregunta, si te ofrecieran ahora volver a interpretar al capitán Jack Sparrow, ¿cómo cogerías el papel? ¿Con ilusión, ganas o un poco quizá de miedo o de rechazo? Gracias.
Well, here's the, I suppose this is the positive side of having, in a strange way, given life to those characters like Captain Jack or whatever character that I was lucky enough to locate and bring to life. The beauty of Captain Jack Sparrow for me is that I can travel with Captain Jack in a box. Literally, Captain Jack in a box. And when the opportunity is right, I'm able to go and visit people places where the smiles and the laughs and the things that are important, the most important things in the world are on the line. So I still travel with Captain Jack, and if I have the opportunity, whenever I do, I will go to these places. I'll go to somebody's house, man. I'll perform in your kid's birthday party at this point. But for that, I'm able to experience. I know what is a harsh proposition that people are looking. Sometimes there are children in hospitals, and you see such courage in their eyes, but you can make them dive out of. They can leave that for 3, 4, 5, 7 minutes and laugh and giggle and have a great time. And the parents who are normally standing there dying themselves because of their inability to help their child, if you can make them smile a little, laugh a little, forget a little, even if it's for 30 seconds, that for me is what Captain Jack Sparrow is all about. So if they came to me, let's not even think that. I think that the people who understand or know or get or are touched or you know, he's so ignorant that he makes you laugh. If they're moved by Captain Jack Sparrow in any way, I don't need a company to do that. I can just do that myself, and nobody can take that away. So that's the greatest pleasure of Jack Sparrow. As far as the cinema, as far as the films, we did what we did, you know. It was a kind of a strange, abrupt halt, but these are strange, abrupt times. So yeah, again, he's never going to leave me, and he's always going to be ready to go and say stupid stuff to make people laugh, to make them forget about the nastiness at times in life. And I mean that with every morsel straight down to my black-hearted, weaselly-gutted soul. Thank you.
Gracias.
Pleasure.
Sí, allá al fondo, por favor, hay una persona de amarillo que lleva, que pidió al principio de todo. Estoy intentando dar turno a todos, pero es que sois muchísimos y vamos con el tiempo un poco limitado.
Buenas tardes, Mr. Depp. Bienvenido al Festival Internacional de Cine de San Sebastián y enhorabuena por el Premio Donostia. Estuviste con nosotros el pasado año, en un año que fue complejo para la celebración de eventos de esta magnitud. Vuelves y repites otra vez, traías en aquella ocasión un fantástico documental. Vuelves este año a recoger el Premio Donostia. No cabe duda de que eres un bravo amigo del festival. Thank you so much. En este sentido, mi pregunta, tienes una larga trayectoria como actor, has interpretado papeles quizás para público más minoritario y otros para blockbuster, pero con una creatividad extraordinaria. Mi pregunta sería, ¿cómo has visto evolucionar la industria, si es que es así, y cómo lo valoras? Muchas gracias.
Well, at this moment, myself personally, after being in the racket for 30-plus years now and experiencing various things, learning, really, you know, learning the game of Hollywood just so that you would not have to play it. You could duck and dodge and dive through it. Hollywood is certainly not what it was, and they can pretend to be, but it's a Hollywood, the studio system, the grudge matches, the pandemonium and chaos of cinematic release to streaming to it is a case of no matter what, I'm going to get mine. I mean, that's where these people are coming from. They realize that they're just as disposable as I am, you know, some more. So large corporations take hold of these things. And from my point of view, as I wouldn't call myself an artist, but as someone who does take part in the creation of and the collaboration of making cinema, how much more formula do we need from the likes of studios? How much more condescension as an audience do we need with regard to, okay, folks, we're now going to hit you with the whole plot of the story every 20 minutes. I've said this for a long time. I think that Hollywood has grotesquely underestimated the audience. I think that I think the audiences, they will watch what they're given. They have choices, and they will watch what they're given, what there is to watch. I think the coronavirus and the pandemic, sending everyone into their houses, obviously had grave effects on many, many people health-wise, but small businesses or theaters and this and that. What it also did was it put people in their houses with their families for long, long periods of time with television that they could watch virtually any movie they wanted. And the majority of the world went, you know, this ain't bad. This ain't bad. We can sit and watch this thing at home. We can cook up some popcorn. We could do this. We could do whatever. As opposed to the idea of a guy who makes, you know, $700 a week, and he wants to take his wife and kids out to dinner and a movie on the weekend. That's a $200 deal with parking and the whole business or whatever. It's a big deal. So I think that the Hollywood movie machine has a few design flaws that they're just realizing. I'm glad I saw them coming, personally. Thank you.
Sí, tenemos aquí, vamos a...
Hola Johnny, felicidades por este premio Donostia que reconoce una carrera impresionante y que le ha hecho tan popular. Quería preguntarle de quién se va a acordar esta noche, de quién se va a acordar cuando recoja el premio Donostia tan prestigioso.
Well, first and foremost, the undying support of the festival. Everyone involved, Jose Luis, I mean, all the way to the town, to the mayor, for not buying for not buying what has been for far too long a product of a portion of some notion of me that doesn't exist, and I was understanding if I thought it best that my presence here would offend people. That of course worried me, because I don't want to offend anyone. I haven't done anything. I just make movies. But everything in me knew that after having attended this this festival, San Sebastian, for over the many years, 3-4 times. It's a place that I've always loved and respected for, well, for being a real film festival, a proper film festival that's not about schmoozing, and it's not about, it's about the films, and it's about the filmmaker. And for me to have been chosen to receive such a prestigious honor is very touching, it's very moving, and I'm super honored. I don't, awards themselves are a strange beast. When it requires competition, I just don't like the idea of competition. I don't, myself personally, I never want to compete with anybody. I still don't want to. Everybody's just trying to do their best to get to tomorrow, right? So just the mere fact that there was somehow, probably by fluke mistake, my name came out of the hat to receive this, and I am. It's something that I hold in high honor. I really feel humbled by it, and always happy to come back here.
Muy bien, gracias. Tenemos ahí
Gracias.
la siguiente pregunta, por favor, que lleva ya tiempo también esperando.
Bienvenido, lo primero, y aquí. Y enhorabuena por el premio. Mi pregunta es acerca sobre los personajes que has encarnado a lo largo de tu trayectoria, sobre qué género has estado más cómodo, qué es lo que menos te ha gustado en cuanto a la interpretación de ciertos personajes. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, thank you. You just reminded me, oh, sorry. I just said I'm sorry to a microphone. I have to go. You reminded me of something, a section of a question that the gentleman asked earlier about genres and things regarding cinema. When I was a little kid, silent film was very important to me because there was a public television station that showed all these incredible Chaplins and Keatons and Lon Chaney's. And then what replaced that as I got a little older were the black and white horror films, of course, you know, the Frankenstein and Dracula, Wolfman, all that. And so I was always a big fan of horror films, you know, and which was one of the things that Tim Burton and I, when we first met, connected on, these obscure horror films. But, so I guess what I loved about the horror genre was that one could hide behind the makeup, the mask. One could escape the weight or the gravity of who you are, of yourself, you know. It helps to put you in wearing prosthetic makeup or changing the way you look. It helps to take me further away from the novelty of my name, you know. So it becomes this kind of circular, just continuous. You again. I'm constantly thinking about character and where he may have gone wrong or where he may have done this or that. So, yeah, I feel far more comfortable hiding behind prosthetics or hiding behind a character than actually having to be myself. It's weird. When you get more comfortable in front of a camera as a character than you are on a train, something's gone wrong somewhere. Thank you.
Bueno, tenemos, lo siento, lo lamento, pero señor Depp se tiene que ir ya porque tiene que prepararse para la entrega del premio esta noche. Pido disculpas a los que no habéis podido preguntar, pero es que realmente tenemos el tiempo muy limitado. Solo nos queda agradecerle una vez más su presencia en San Sebastián y desearle mucha suerte esta noche con la entrega del premio. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you. I'm very honored. Yes.